All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm doing some mentoring here, and I had a young man to ask, if I make blank score on an upcoming test, how will it affect my grade? Y'all quiet down, please. All right, so what you have to do then, you need all of your grades because you need to know your current grade point average. And what you're going to have to do is to be able to, you can estimate, you can plug in numbers. So kind of like, so let's say let's say you had 3 tests. On one, you made a 100 out of 100. Then you made a 95 out of 100. And then maybe you weren't quite on your A game, so you made a B and you got an 80, well, it depends on what scale you're on. Let's say we're on the 7-point scale and you got a 89 out of 100. So to calculate your current grade, what you would need to do is add the total number of possible points, which is 300. Then you're going to add the points that you actually scored up until that point. So 100 plus 95 plus 89 equals 284. Are you understanding, young man? Okay, so now I told you how to calculate a percentage. What is this current percentage? What are you going to divide? Speak up.
300 divided by 284.
No, backwards. You got it backwards.
284.
Remember, you're trying to get a percentage. You're going to divide 284 divided by 300. Remember, your points divided by the total possible points. Score points divided by possible points. Say it with me. Score points divided by possible points. Okay, so now you have a test coming up. So for your up, I'm a business education teacher. I type all day. Don't judge me on my handwriting. I don't want to hear it. All right. Upcoming test. We're going to say that's worth another 100 points. Okay? So now your new total is what? The previous total was 300. The next test is going to be worth 100. So when you're done, your new total will be 300 plus 100.
400.
There you go. Anybody out there aspiring to be a teacher is cool. You got to be patient. Now, here's how you calculate possible percentages, young man. So let's say you make a 0. Whoever's got the music playing that loud, please turn it down. Thank you so much. All right, now, if you make a 0, your new total is 400. Your current score didn't change. So if you still have 284, now you divide that by 400. This time, I need you to do that on your calculator. You go through that motion and you punch in those numbers on your calculator. Enter those numbers on your device. I'm using a cell phone for a reason, students. Since y'all do all these things on your cell phone, okay, cool. We use it as a toy. We need to start using these phones and these Chromebooks and these tablets as tools. All right, what'd you get, sir? Okay, so your average will have gone down from whatever percentage we had previously to a 71. So now, let's say you made 50 out of 100 on that next test. So now your total point, your total possible is what? The test is still worth 100 points. What's your new total?
900.
We're talking about the same test, my man.
500.
We're talking about the same test, my man. It's still 400. Okay? Remember, this is your 4th test, right? You're trying to find out what happens if you make whatever score on your 4th test. Therefore, your total points, your projected total is going to be 400 every time. Now, you had 284. So whatever your new score is out of 100, you're going to simply add that and divide it by 400. Got it? So let's add 80 to 284. What is 284 plus 80? 364. We got to work on those. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, we'll go over long form addition later. Numbers like that though, fellas, ladies, we should be able to do those numbers in our head, but okay, if we're not there yet, we're not there yet, that's fine. Now, if you scored 300, if you scored that, what we say, 80 points? Okay, so if you scored 80 points on that next exam and your total number of points was 364, now you're going to divide that by what? You're dividing the total number of points you scored by the total number of points possible. What is the total number of points possible? No, that's the number of points you would have scored if you made 80 on this last test. The points possible out of those four, 100. Thank you, sir. So 364 divided by what? Okay, so at that point, if your new total of points scored was 364, you will then divide that by 400. And in that case, your average would be 91%. Now, this is important for anybody. You'll see on my other channel, teaching is learning and learning is teaching. They are the same concept, because when you've learned something, you know it well enough to be able to teach it. Therefore, one way to ask a student if they know something is to say, can you explain it back to me? Now, if you've been doing this long enough, you know when a student is ready for that and when they're not, and that's okay. If a student does not understand a concept, what happens as a teacher is you have to read, well, you need to. Some teachers will, some teachers won't. That's a different conversation for a different day. So young man, I'm assuming right now you're not quite comfortable with this topic just yet. Am I correct? Would it help you if I made some type of worksheet or some type of, okay. So I tell you what, that's what we're gonna do. For anybody watching, I probably need to put my email address on. Okay, so I'll put my email address in the subject line or in the description box. What I'll do also, I'll probably put this same video on my teaching channel for anybody who's wanting to learn how to teach. But what I'll also do is create a worksheet, because you know what? Anybody watching and students, I'm kind of dipping into teacher and student territory here, but what's happening is this is a skill that used to be taught in elementary school. Now, I'm not trying to make you feel a certain type of way, but what you need to understand is sometimes as a teacher, you have to go the extra step, go the extra mile, and you have to reteach some concepts. Sometimes they're concepts which maybe had nothing to do with you, but a student didn't learn it previously. The only way that student's going to be able to understand that concept is by repetition. Everybody here listening, I want you to learn this phrase. Repetition is the mother of skill. Repetition is the mother of skill. How do you learn how to do something? You repeat it and do it over and over again until it's like clockwork. What'd you say, young man?
Until you get it right.
Exactly, until you get it right. So, okay, no problem. See, son, there's a reason I'm doing this way. You ain't the only one with that question. So don't be afraid to ask a question. It's cool. I'm going to either find some type of worksheet or find some type of activity. I'm going to try not to create it just simply because it's faster if it exists. And what we'll do next time is go through a worksheet where we can repeat the action. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Renaissance Man Education.